When you finally walk away from a narcissist, something powerful happens. The version of you they tried to break begins to rise. You find clarity, peace, and confidence they never wanted you to have. And when they see it, that light, that freedom, it fills them with hatred disguised as indifference. Narcissists don't hate you because you left. They hate you because you healed. They can't stand the idea that someone who once needed them no longer does. Your independence challenges everything they believe about their own importance, and that truth burns. When they had you, they felt superior. They controlled your emotions, dictated your worth, and shaped your world. But after you grow, their illusion collapses. You become proof that they weren't special. They were temporary, and nothing wounds a narcissist more than irrelevance. They remember the version of you that doubted yourself, the one who apologized too much, who walked on eggshells to keep peace. Now that you stand tall, they can't recognize you, and that unfamiliar strength terrifies them. It's like watching their favorite puppet cut its own strings. The person you become after them exposes their biggest lie, that you were weak. They built their ego around being your savior. But when you no longer need saving, they lose purpose. Your growth turns their power into dust, and that's why they secretly resent your peace. They'll say you've changed, and they're right, you have. But to them, change means betrayal. The calmer you become, the more they twist it into arrogance. Your silence feels like rejection, because they can't understand peace that doesn't include them. They start rumors to reclaim control. They think they're better than everyone now. But behind that bitterness lies envy. You're living proof that people can heal from them. That kind of freedom is something they'll never experience, and they know it. When you no longer react to their provocations, they feel powerless. You used to respond with emotion, anger, tears, explanation. Now you simply don't. That quiet indifference cuts deeper than any insult. Because indifference means their time in your story is over. Your glow becomes a mirror they can't stand to look at. It reflects all the parts of themselves they refuse to fix. Every bit of peace you find reminds them of the chaos they still live in. You didn't become their enemy, you became their reminder. They'll accuse you of being cold or heartless. But that's projection. What they see as cruelty is actually self-respect. For the first time, you're protecting your energy instead of handing it away. They call it selfishness because it no longer serves them. The new you sets boundaries. And to a narcissist, boundaries feel like rejection. They were used to taking freely your time, your trust, your forgiveness. Now each no you say feels like a slap to their ego. They don't hate the word, they hate losing access. They also despise your happiness. Not because they want you miserable, but because your joy proves they never owned you. They thought leaving you broken would feed their pride forever. Instead, your healing exposed how replaceable their control truly was. When others start noticing your transformation, the confidence, the calm, the narcissist grows restless. Their image depends on being admired. Seeing you admired without them steals the spotlight they believe belongs to them alone. You've become unpredictable to them. Before, they could read your emotions and pull your strings. Now they can't. You respond with maturity, grace and distance. Things they can't manipulate. That unpredictability feels like losing their favorite game. They start comparing themselves to you, even when they pretend not to care. I'm doing fine, they insist, while secretly checking if you're happier. Every success you achieve, big or small, triggers their quiet panic, because your evolution proves they never defined you. You've become the one thing narcissists can't control. A person who knows their worth. That's why they try to rewrite history. They'll tell others you were difficult or unstable. It's their way of erasing the story where you outgrew them. They hate that your energy feels peaceful now. You no longer chase, explain, or beg. You've turned your pain into wisdom, your heartbreak into boundaries. That transformation feels like a loss. They can't articulate, because they never expected you to rise. Narcissists thrive on chaos. Your calmness suffocates them. When they can't trigger you, they can't feed off you. It's emotional starvation, and they hate it. They'll try to reignite conflict just to feel relevant again. But you've learned that silence speaks louder. They also envy your authenticity. They've spent their life wearing masks, pretending to be powerful, lovable, or wise. You meanwhile found strength by being real. Every honest smile, every genuine connection exposes their act for what it is, performance. You've become proof that healing is louder than revenge. You didn't destroy them, you outgrew them. And that's the one ending they can't accept, because it means they were never the main character in your story. You were always the hero of your own. They'll try to bait you back with nostalgia. Remember when we were good, they'll say. But you know better now. Those moments were illusions, temporary peace before the next storm. Your memory isn't blurred by longing anymore. It's sharpened by clarity. The narcissist's ego whispers that you'll miss them someday, but time keeps proving it wrong. Each day you go without their chaos, your heart feels lighter. The peace they called boring becomes the freedom they secretly envy. They may watch you from afar, scrolling through your life, comparing it to theirs. They'll never admit it, but each glimpse of your joy feels like punishment. Not because you're winning, but because they're still fighting battles you already left behind. You've become someone who doesn't need validation. That's what kills them most. They built your world around their approval, and now it means nothing. Your confidence is no longer borrowed from them, it's owned, and that independence makes them irrelevant. Their hatred isn't truly for you. It's for the mirror you've become. You reflect every lie they told about being irreplaceable, every illusion of power they tried to maintain. You became the proof that they weren't a blessing. They were a lesson. As you grow, they shrink. The energy they once drained now fuels your transformation. You've turned their manipulation into motivation. That irony eats at them, because your success invalidates their control. It shows they were never the source of your strength. They'll try to mimic your healing. You might see them posting motivational quotes, pretending they've found peace. But imitation isn't transformation. Their peace is performance, built for attention. Yours is real, built from silence and pain they'll never face. Your glow forces them into reflection they can't handle. They start realizing every person they've hurt eventually moved on, while they stayed the same. That realization feels like slow, internal collapse. A truth they can't admit even to themselves. The new you doesn't seek closure. You stopped waiting for apologies that never come. That acceptance disarms them. Narcissists feed on emotional tension, and when there's none left, they wither. You stopped fueling the fire and it finally went out. They hate that you found joy in solitude. You no longer chase distractions, validation, or drama. You learned that peace isn't loneliness, it's power. And that kind of strength terrifies them, because it's the one thing they can't fake or steal. When you stop explaining yourself, you reclaim authority over your story. Narcissists lose their favorite tool, your guilt. They can't twist your words or your emotions anymore. And that silence, it's your declaration of independence. They start realizing you were never the weak one. You were the one with empathy, patience, and heart. They mistake kindness for weakness, but now they see it was power all along. Compassion with boundaries is something they'll never understand. Your new life becomes their quiet punishment. Every success, every smile, every peaceful night, is a reminder that they no longer control the ending. They can rewrite the past all they want, but they can't touch your present. They'll accuse you of being fake, happy, but that's projection again. They can't imagine joy that isn't performed for attention. Real happiness, the kind you built from self-love, looks foreign to them. They hate what they can't comprehend. The more you evolve, the smaller they feel. They used to dominate the story, now they barely exist in it. And that invisibility feels like punishment, worse than confrontation. You didn't destroy them, you outgrew them quietly. They still talk about you, but every story reveals their bitterness. The more they speak, the more people see through them. Their own words expose the truth. You healed, and they haven't. You don't need to defend yourself. Your peace is your proof. What they hate most isn't your success. It's your peace. They can compete with achievements, but not with serenity, because peace requires honesty, and narcissists can't survive honesty. It strips away every mask they've built. The narcissist's world revolves around admiration, but you've stepped into self-validation. You no longer crave the spotlight they offered. You found fulfillment in simplicity, in being whole, not worshipped, and that freedom feels like their greatest loss. They try to pretend they've forgotten you, but memory has a way of haunting those who manipulate. They remember your laughter, your empathy, your strength, not with love but with regret, because they know they'll never find it again in the same form. They hate that your forgiveness isn't an invitation. You've forgiven them not to reconnect, but to release. That maturity confuses them. They mistake it for weakness. But forgiveness without return is power. And it's power they'll never grasp. Your calm makes them restless. They crave reaction, chaos, energy. But your stillness starves their ego. Every time you choose peace over battle, they lose another piece of control. You've turned detachment into victory. They might still watch from the sidelines, hoping for your downfall. But the longer you stay steady, the more it eats at them. Because every day you rise is proof that their power was temporary, and your strength eternal. The new you values authenticity over approval. That scares them. Narcissists live for validation, and your indifference exposes their emptiness. They can't understand how someone can be happy without an audience. They envy how lightly you carry yourself now. No resentment, no competition, no chaos. You became what they pretended to be, confident, grounded, and whole. That realization haunts them because it proves you won a game they never knew you were playing. They may never admit it, but you've become their teacher. Your silence, your growth, your boundaries, all the lessons they refused to learn, echo back through your absence. They hate you for it, but deep down, they also respect it. You stopped chasing closure and started creating peace. That shift changed everything. You became unshakable, and narcissists can't thrive around stability. You outgrew their storm, and they'll forever resent you for the calm you found. In their world, power equals control. In yours now, power equals peace. That difference makes them irrelevant. They can't win a battle that no longer exists. You stopped fighting, and that's how you won. They'll always hate the person you became after them because that person exposes their failure. You proved that their destruction didn't end you, it refined you. Your strength is living proof that their influence was never destiny. The best revenge was never revenge at all. It was transformation. You didn't need to hurt them, you just needed to heal. And that healing shines brighter than any illusion they ever built. So when they look at you now, peaceful, grounded, and free, remember this: their hatred isn't proof of your wrongdoing. It's proof of your evolution. Because nothing enrages a narcissist more than seeing the person they tried to break finally become whole.